And welcome to the EATEL Game of the Week, Week 9 of the season, the non-COVID season. What week is this? Week 6, I suppose, technically. Jeff Porsche with you, along with Coach David Swacker, and we are at Spartan Stadium at East Ascension High School, and our matchup tonight is McKinley, who is 0-6 on the season, taking on East Ascension, who is 2-3 on the season. And we have the opening kickoff coming up in about 10 to 15 minutes, so stay tuned for that. But until then, we'll take a short break, and we'll be right back. You're watching the EATEL Game of the Week.
It's game day. A day that should be spent in the living room, not the kitchen. So next game, you just worry about the score, because we've got the food covered. With hand-battered, cooked-to-order, always fresh, never ever frozen chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, crispy crinkle-cut fries, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Piku Builder Supply, your one-stop lumberyard, provides an extensive selection of quality building supplies for your new construction and remodeling. We offer computer-aided estimating of your building and remodeling plans, as well as blueprint copies. From humble beginnings to becoming the industry leader in Gonzales and beyond, Piku proudly supports our local community because we believe in giving back to those who have had a hand in our success. Let the experts at Piku Builder Supply help you with your new project today.
The Title Law Firm has been fighting for our clients to get their best recovery for over 20 years. And now that tradition will continue to the next generation.
Hi, I'm Rick Tata, the newest member of the Title Law Firm.
We understand that it can be frustrating dealing with your claim.
So we're here to help you get what you deserve. If you're seriously injured in an accident, call the Title Law Firm today.
We're not just a face on an ad.
Call 756-0007 when you're injured. You gotta call Tata.
You care about your car. So do we. Donaldsonville Glass and Body has been around for over 40 years, providing unparalleled collision repairs and customer service, especially when you and your car are having the worst day ever. When you demand exceptional workmanship, call Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Free pickup for your collision repairs and get it back as good as new. It's your choice, so why not choose the best? Donaldsonville Glass and Body.
Dr. Brian Hollis is Ascension Parish's orthodontist. Dr. Hollis has an excellent reputation for bringing state-of-the-art technology and the highest standard of patient care to Ascension. He attended LSU Dental School, and he completed a residency to become a board-certified specialist in orthodontics. An avid supporter in our community, Dr. Hollis is married to Celeste Pyron Hollis, and they have 4 children. Dr. Hollis, Ascension Parish's orthodontist. Grow up smiling with Hollis Orthodontics.
You've waited all year, and now November is here. Ross Downing Buick GMC Hammond and Ross Downing Buick GMC of Gonzales. Save $10,000 on new 2021 Sierra or 2020 Envision, $12,000 off at Ross Downing Buick GMC Hammond and Ross Downing Buick GMC of Gonzales. New 2021 Sierra, $10,000 off. 2020 Envision, $12,000 off. RossDowningHammond.com. RossDowningGonzales.com.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network, where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character, and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
The reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Welcome back, and we are about 10 minutes or so away from the opening kickoff. McKinley versus East Ascension, and I'm joined by Coach David Swacker. We're going to be doing 2 games this week. We have the other game tomorrow night, which will be Ellender at Dutchtown, but after a week off, it's good to be back and seeing some high school football in the area.
Well, I'm just telling you, Jeff, and when you start looking at the records of all the schools, and here we are in Week 9, and you're talking about some teams are 2-3, and 3-1 and crazy scores like that, it looks like the COVID virus is an undefeated team right now. It has taken its toll here in Ascension Parish, and basically it's happening all over the United States. But, you know, our main concern is here in this district right here, to where this week basically you have Santa Maria not playing a district game, you have Dutchtown not playing a district game, you have Catholic not playing a district game, and the only district game you have in our district is sitting right here today between McKinley and East Ascension. So, you know, it's really taken a tough toll on a lot of people. And the big problem, Jeff, is this. Basically, in most situations, when a kid is found out to be near someone that's had the virus, that's 14 days that they're out. And, you know, the virus doesn't say, well, we'll make it on a Friday or we'll make it on a Monday or whatever. And 14 days could be almost 3 football games for a team. And that's what the Santa Maria Gators are looking at next week, coming back and practice on Wednesday or Thursday and playing East Ascension on Friday, or the rumor is maybe on Saturday. So it's really kind of crazy what's going on. And look, let me just tell you, everything is cancel, postpone, cancel, postpone. But when you get into the playoffs, this word, whether you want to say it or not, is going to be forfeit. The other team, you know, when you cannot show up, the other team is going to move to the next round of the playoffs. And as widespread as the virus is right now, you know, this could easily see, you know, you might be in a state championship situation and all of a sudden can't show up for that game. That's the predicament that a lot of schools are in right now, and that coaches are dealing with. Not necessarily weekly, it's a daily thing that they're finding out about kids. And, you know, it's a pretty tough situation for all the high schools that are trying to get games in. And you see Catholic High, kudos to them. You know, they're just trying to find anybody, not necessarily with a heartbeat, with a major heartbeat. They went up to Ruston. Now they have Acadiana, #1 team in the state, multiple state championships over the last few years, and they don't bow down to anybody. You know, they have I think maybe a 4 or 5, 5-2 record, but the big thing that they have is. You know, their non-district schedule has been against some outstanding teams.
Yes, it has, and that's kind of what you have to do when you have to find a new opponent. And East Ascension had to deal with that when they lost a game at Dutchtown. They wound up playing Bird, and that was a tough opponent, but they got the game through. And Dutchtown this week, losing the Santa Maria game, they're taking on Ellender, and that's going to be our game of the week tomorrow night. You see the captain heading out there for both teams, and so they're going to head to the coin toss. And while that is going on, let's take a look at the coaches' records and the all-time record for both teams. Where at East Ascension you have Darnell Lee, 35-18, 50-35 overall, and Richard Oliver, the head coach at McKinley. And the all-time series, EA leads 32-3. Last year they won 40-14. Very close game at halftime though, but East Ascension pulled away in the end. And,
you know, Richard Oliver has been a coach in numerous spots in the Baton Rouge area. He's 1-16 in McKinley, but he's a very good coach, in my opinion. Just needs to get things turned around at McKinley, and sometimes it takes a little bit of time. That's number 52, Cordell Samuel from McKinley, your captain. And
you have Keandre Johnson, 28.
28, defensive back. Is going to be the captain. See who wins the toss. The referee right there. McKinley's going to defer. So McKinley won the toss. And you have a choice of receiving or kicking. And they decide that we're going to defer to the second half. And so basically they're going to kick off to East Ascension. And the second half should start with East Ascension kicking off to them.
Right. So East Ascension's going to get the ball first, and McKinley on defense, they've had their problems all year. Well, their whole team has had their problems. They're 0-6, and they're not a very impressive 0-6. They have not been very competitive. And last week they took on Dutchtown, and Dutchtown was basically Sampson and the entire backup offensive players because of contact tracing with a defensive player. Most of the offense was quarantined, and then they still won 42-0. So
yeah, it's and it's not here to sit here and blast McKinley by no means. They're showing up every week. I can tell you that. But offensively, only scored 3 touchdowns this year, and it doesn't really. You can't say defensively they're not very good because I'm sure defensively they stayed on the field most of the game, and so they're probably giving up close to 40 points a game. And so we're going to have the opening kickoff right here. East Ascension playing their defensive, their deep backs up between the 15 and 20-yard line for the return. And all we got is a little squib.
And it's taken at the 35 to the 40, and a nice quick return to about the 44-yard line. Let's see who the back is, and that's number 6 for the Spartans. That's Devion Johnson, a senior running back. And so it's 1st and 10. Let's look at the offense for the East Ascension Spartans, and Troy Dunn is going to be their quarterback. Wheat still out with the injury. And in the backfield, Walter Samuel, and the receivers, Chopin, Jupiter, Jaquel Mack, and Jordan Goodlow. And the offensive line, you see them right there, Jefferson, Jackson, Sonyet, Ennis, and Richardson. 1st and 10, and there's a handoff to Samuel, and he gets only a couple of yards. Short game.
Coach Lee has got to be thinking, the most important thing in this game right here is, number one, injury-free at the end of this game. But we have to improve offensively. And you say what, in the passing game or the run game? And I'm sure Coach Lee's saying in both.
Right.
And so he's looking for an offensive attack that mixes the run and pass together. Something you hadn't seen a lot of, 2 backs in the backfield.
And a high snap, and he gets the ball, but he's not quite going to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's wrestled down by number 5, Jeremiah Washington, a senior linebacker for the McKinley Panthers, and it's going to be 3rd and long.
On that snap right there, it was a little high. That needs to be consistent for the quarterback to where he doesn't take his eyes off of a read that he has, whether in the run game or the pass game. And it looked like they were trying to run sweep to the outside. Now you have a long yardage situation.
And it's going to be a 1st down and a catch made by Goodlow. Nice pass by the quarterback, Troy Dunn. And so, they move the chains and they get a 1st down. And he had to split time with Cullen Wheat so far this year, but he's a quarterback now because Cullen Wheat has the broken collarbone, and so he's done.
And you saw on that pass, very, very good job, and I think it was Washington in the slot right there where he ran an outside release on that strong safety and allowing that flat receiver to get wide open right there.
And so the drive continues. Now looking for Chopin on the sideline. It's caught. Did he stay in bounds? Yes, he did. And so that is going to be at the 32-yard line. That should be enough for another 1st down.
Well, I call this a hitch, but I'm going to just tell you. I mean, first of all, Dunn was ready to throw quickly, and I like that. And Chopin right there, this was a 10-yard hitch. Most of the time when you see hitch routes, they like for 5 yards. A lot of time, a lot of action right here. A tight end trips right here. I love this formation here.
Let's see what they do with it. And it's going to be, slipping on the ground. That's Kendall Washington. So they're trying to run behind those receivers blocking downfield. But
and if you watch the tight end tackle guard right here, everybody's reaching. Well, if they get a block on that outside linebacker right there, Washington has a long run in store for him.
Right, and he's got that breakaway speed. He could have gone the distance if he wouldn't have lost his balance, perhaps, if they conceal that outside linebacker. 2nd down and 13.
All right, now same formation to the left side.
And we have a whistle. And so East Ascension is going to call a timeout. And so we'll stay here with 9:22 left to go in the first quarter, no score. Why don't we take a look at the District 5 5A records while we have a chance to take a look at that. And Catholic, of course, they're going to be on top with a 2-0 record. They're 4-2 overall. Woodlawn, they didn't play last week because of COVID issues against East Ascension, but they're 2-1 and 2-0.
But you say 2-1 and 2-0. Now they've only played 3 games, and by the LHSA rules, in order to go into the playoffs, they have to have a 4-game season.
Right.
So if for some reason they're playing McKinley next week, and McKinley now right now Woodlawn is not showing up for games because of the virus situation. Right. If McKinley or Woodlawn can't show up next week, Woodlawn can't go in the playoffs. And what'd you say they were ranked in the power rankings?
And the unofficial rankings that I saw, they were number 3.
So number 3 might be staying home if you can't show up next week.
Right. 2nd down and 12, and a rollout to the right, quick pass, caught. Jaquel Mack, the senior tight end, down inside the 30. About a 7-yard gain on the reception. It's going to be third down and 7.
Back right out here in the flat. I know quarterback Dunn was looking. He's completed all of his passes tonight. He was right below 50%, 37 out of 81 for right under 500 yards on the year. And looking to improve on that. 6 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
And we have a whistle. And we have a false start, and so that's going to push them back 5 more yards. So it's going to be about 3rd down and 11. This hasn't been easy so far for East Ascension, considering the opponent. If they thought they were going to just walk down the field and score, they were badly mistaken.
I think McKinley basically, on a set amount of players, probably has a decent group of athletes out there. But what happens over a period of time, a lot of them are playing both ways, and basically they get worn out, and that's when people start making big plays on them.
Right, you see that happen.
Well, you got an empty formation. I love this formation right here. You got 2 on right here in the flat.
And they're going deep, and they got Chopin, but it's overthrown. Chopin was open, but that looked like he was going in, and the ball was going out 4th down and long before the
I saw Walter Samuel right here in the flat. You see that?
Yeah.
And you give him the ball, and he's also by far your best running back you have. You get him the ball in the flat and able to turn up the side, he's going to pick up big yardage here. You got a 4th and 11 situation.
And you're in no man's land where punting doesn't really give you a big advantage here. And so they're going to go for it, and they're going to go with one back in the backfield, Samuel, on a pass downfield, and it is that's a nice catch, but it's going to be short of the first down.
Short of the first down.
Goodlow made a nice catch, but just if he could have kept his stride, but the pass was just a little bit too far for him, and hits the ground and does not get the first.
Yeah, I'm not for certain the throw should have been. First of all, I'm not for certain. Are you throwing that ball at about 8 yards where he caught it, or are you supposed to break it at 10? And then it looked pretty nice going down that sideline also.
Could have made something happen if it would have been on the same page right there. But the 4th down conversion is unsuccessful, and they do get about 8 yards out of it. So, I mean, it's not bad. You get the ball to the 26-yard line. That's as good as a punt.
Well, they gained about 40 yards on that series right there.
And so now we are going to see, for the first time, the McKinley Panthers on offense, and it's going to be a quarterback keeper up the middle, and that's going nowhere. Yeah. Noah Johnson was set up in that Wildcat formation. Usually their quarterback is number 6, Richard Oliver Jr., but he was not out there.
Oliver's going to be playing some two-way action right there. That play right there, that's a tough one against that front 3 from East Ascension, and along with the 4 linebackers behind them. Very, very good defense, and a lot of stuff they do is just vanilla because they're that good.
Right. Noah Johnson is still in the game at quarterback. No Oliver out there right now. It's 2nd down and 10 for the Panthers. And the shotgun rolling out to his left, throws downfield, and it's between 2 receivers, falls incomplete, 3rd and long.
And I'm not certain if it was man-to-man or zone, but outstanding job on the sprint out. Just about every route that you have on a sprint out usually is going towards the sidelines. You don't have many people breaking posts or going back across the field, and that's exactly what they were doing. And East Ascension had one on each one of those 3 receivers that McKinley had going down the field.
So it's going to be 3rd and 10 in a 3rd and long situation. There is one back in the backfield, and that's actually Oliver, number 6. So it's 3rd and long, and the quarterback, Johnson, looking downfield, throws a pass, and it's incomplete. They were looking for number 9, George Martin, but it's just wide, and it's 4th down.
I tell you what, Riante Jones looks like he's the guy that bats that thing down a little bit, doing a very, very good job on his little drop area in that little hook zone, exactly where that receiver curled up at, to create a slight deflection right there for an incomplete pass.
Right, now it's 4th down, and East Ascension should get good field position. You see number 3 back there, Cale Babbitt, and it's a punting situation. Jalen Bowman is the punter, and he's going to get it away, and it's a decent punt. Cale Babbitt's going to take it, and he's right at the sidelines, but he gets his balance and gets past midfield, so it's going to be 1st and 10. It's a 25-yard punt and about a 5-yard return, so it's 1st and 10 for the Spartans.
First of all, Cale Babbitt, number 1, caught the ball. That is, that's 90% of the battle, no matter what league you're in. And second of all, I don't know if they had a return right on or not. Some people like to return into their sideline, but basically that momentum was carrying you that way, and he turned up and got what he could out of it for 5 yards, and here we are past the 50-yard line for East Ascension's second drive of the night.
There's 7:49 left to go in the first quarter. Still no score between McKinley and the Spartans. So 1st and 10 now, and you see Troy Dunn. He's going to go the distance here at quarterback most likely. Samuel in the backfield working out the shotgun. Waiting for the snap. There it is. And there's Samuel, and he breaks a tackle, trying to cut inside. Good hard running there. Gets about 8 on 1st down.
Well, Samuel, as a sophomore, is a leading rusher for the Spartans. He's right at 300 yards, 200 touchdowns. And the big thing, he's got 34 receptions on the year and for another 100 yards.
And there's a handoff and an easy 1st down as they burst right through the middle before he's tackled by Royce Handy, number 8, linebacker for McKinley. So it's another 1st down.
Yeah, watch right up the middle right here, what they're doing, a little trap blocking on the inside. Big 79. Let's see, 79, there's a replacement in there.
That's Ennis.
Doran, he started some. Hurry up for the Spartans.
And another 1st down, and Samuel's getting going here, and another big 1st down, a 15-yard run, and another 1st down for the Spartans.
And quick play, so our cameraman did a great job getting ready for that quick offensive snap.
Yeah, didn't miss it right there.
And the thing, Jeff, I like about Samuel, between the tackles, he looks like he kind of enjoys that.
Yes. And he's going to get another chance, and he breaks another tackle, but the second wave is going to get him. But he still pushes ahead, and he gets a few. As they're inside the red zone for the first time tonight. Now going to be inside the 15.
Well, watch the second effort right here by Samuel.
Yes.
And then a couple of those offensive line guys said, I can help you out here, Samuel.
Yeah, and he slithered through it. It should have been about a 3 or 4 yard gain, but he got another 4 yards out of it. It's 2nd and 2. They're at the 11-yard line.
Well, you get that little sniffer back in there, and usually he takes you to the promised land.
And this time Dunn's going to keep it as nobody was open, and he just takes it out of bounds. Ridden out by number 3, Jacoby Talbert. So it's going to be maybe no gain on the play, so it's going to be 3rd down.
Watch on the bootleg. You're trying to hit, the up back in the flat, and, we don't have that replay, but that's exactly what he's trying to do, and then everybody's dragging across the field, and Dunn did the right thing, just keep the ball, and we live another down because now we have a 2nd and
they actually lost 2 on that.
Yeah, so 2nd and 4.
That's 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4.
Yes. So 3rd and 4 from the 14. They got to get just inside the 10. You see trips to the right. And they give it to the fullback up the middle, and it's close. It's going to be close. It depends on the spot.
Well, if they got past the 10, and you're right, it's going to be very close.
Looks like Johnson, the fullback, DeAndre Johnson. And they're going to say it is a first down. So it's going to be first and goal. Nice run by Keandre Johnson, number 28. That was his first carry of the night. And so East Ascension trying to get on the board early, just past the halfway point of the first quarter.
Well, look at this, under center, Jeff.
Yes, that's something you don't see
little
very often.
ISO,
but
right up the middle.
Nice job. And the thing about Walter Samuel, you can't get him down on the first contact, and you saw it again right there.
Reminds me slightly of Sampson.
Yes.
Not near the yardage and everything, not near the speed. But when Sampson was a 10th grader, the thing that impressed me the most is that running. Of course, what really impressed you when he got outside and nobody could catch him.
Right.
But tough runner in between the tackles, and that's exactly what they did right here.
Yeah.
To McKinley. Nice little drive by the Spartans.
And he was definitely the feature back right there. That drive was all him. He deserved that touchdown.
We got 85 kicking.
That's Kern, and it is good. And so it's 7-0, and we'll take a break. You are watching the EATEL Game of the Week.
Aaron, reminding you it's time to speed things up with all-fiber internet from EATEL. Your connectivity needs keep expanding, streaming, surfing, and playing games. And EATEL continues to stay ahead of the curve with the fastest speeds. Plus, our Eero whole home Wi-Fi will eliminate dead spots in your home. EATEL takes the hassle out of setting things up so you get our #1 rated reliability from the bedroom to the patio. As always, you will get the personal service you deserve from EATEL. Fast, local, reliable.
East Ascension gets on the board, a 9-yard touchdown run by Walter Samuel at 7-0. First score of the night, 5:34 left to go in the first quarter. And now East Ascension will kick off to McKinley for the first time this evening. Kern to kick off. Looks like number 9, George Martin, back deep to receive. A couple of other Panthers are out there as well. It's going to be a short kick. And there's a fight for it, and it's taken at the 20 to the 30. Nice spin move. Gets outside near the 40-yard line. So good return by, who is that, number 2, Knighton.
Let's check out East Ascension Spartan defensive personnel.
As you see a nice replay there. Now we'll get to the starters on defense. You got Boykins, Ashton Milton, and Martez Scott on that line, and you saw them. They're big guys and hard to push around. Then you got Taylor, Brendan Ragusa, Riante Jones, Blake Thompson at linebacker. Your cornerbacks are Kendrick Broussard, Chase Bouvet, and then the free safety Justin Walker, strong safety Cale Babin.
Cale Babin can be used on offense, and of course he's going to be a return guy, very important guy, and a lot of things that they do at East Ascension.
1st and 10, and the handoff good for about 2 yards on the play. That's number 5, Jameer Washington, short gain on the play. And you see him wrapped up right there. Taken down by
runner,
Jones.
Though. Yes. Very strong runner right there.
Yes, he's a big guy. And you see Jarrell Boykins take him down. First contact was made by Riante Jones, number 5. They're going to say he got about 3 on the play. Ball's at the 41. It's 2nd and 7. Still see that number 1, Noah Johnson. He's listed as a wide receiver, but he's getting the action.
You got 2 backs in the backfield. 1,
that's
5 and 6.
Yep, Jameer Washington and Richard Oliver Jr. Oliver is supposed to be the quarterback, but not tonight. 2nd down, a quick pass deflected and incomplete. Looked like Riante Jones was going to get the deflection and the rebound and the interception. Incomplete though. 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7.
Oh, Riante, watch this. Tip. And basically he's looking at to me, I call it the RPO.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times you read that linebacker, he took a step up and he stopped right there, and he then got right in that little slant passing lane and really did a good job of deflecting that and almost coming up with the interception.
Nearly came up with it, and it's 3rd down and long, and you see the split backs in the shotgun. 3 receivers, looking left all the way, throws downfield, and it's caught but not enough for a first down as Cale Badman's going to take down the wide receiver. Quickly, it's fourth down.
I don't like that play right there, Jeff. Watch this. From the right hash all the way across the field to pick up 3 yards.
Yeah.
You know, that right there. And then on top of that, they were playing zone, so you had to throw underneath it. And the underneath throw wasn't anything more than a few yards. So not a good play for McKinley, but it puts them in a situation they're going to go for it.
You're 0-6, you might as well.
It might not even be a play, trying to get them to jump off sides. Let's see what happens.
No, it is a play. Quarterback keeper option, pitch out, and that's not happening. Number 44 is right there to snip that out, and that's Blake Thompson with the tackle, and just not a good execution.
The blocking on the outside had to be very poor. As you see, all these guys coming in, the linebackers do a great job of scraping. You know, first of all, somebody's got to force that quarterback to pitch it, and defensively, East Ascension did a great job getting to the football.
And they're going to get good field position with 3:43 left to go.
So they were in 2 backs, a little stiffer back last time. Now they're in doubles formation.
So 2 left, 2 right, and I believe that's Kendall Washington now in the game. And it's going to be a quarterback keeper, and that's going nowhere. Good job by number 4 reading that. Jaleen King for a loss.
Yeah, usually when you have that, you read the defensive end, and the defensive end was just a little bit better than the quarterback right there.
I mean, you look at these guys, too. Woodlawn, as you said, they got some great athletes. You just don't have enough of them to stay with you. These are some big guys, and these are some tough players, and they're – it's just not an easy.
So Dunn needs to put that play that just happened. Needs to put that in his memory there.
Yeah.
There's Washington finding an opening.
Right, and that's going to be a 17-yard gain, first down. Nice run.
Well, you see, look at kick out and a lead up by the big man, 70. And Washington gets up in that hole, and, probably these backs from East Ascension are saying, we haven't seen some openings like this, and East Ascension is very, very capable on the offensive line. Here they are in the tight end formation. Nope, not take that back.
They have a whistle, and I believe we're going to have a penalty called against the Spartans.
Here's the white hat, the referee. Legal procedure. Somebody moving before that ball was snapped.
East Ascension's had their problems on offense this year, and mainly it was because they were breaking in a new quarterback. Then they had to break in 2 new quarterbacks. Then one's out, and they liked having Wheat at quarterback and Dunn at receiver to take advantage of his athleticism. Now he's got to play quarterback full time, and that's been a little bit of a transition that's still in progress right now.
All right, they've been looking over here a pretty good while.
So now they work out the shotgun again. You see
a lot of times that up back's going to take you to the football.
And Chopin makes the catch at the 30, and he's pushed out at about the 26. So they're going to get some of that yardage back. It's good for about 9 yards.
It's Chopin right here. The only thing that I really didn't like, he needed to be inside just a little bit more, because if you make that move down that sideline, that defensive sideline doesn't become a defensive player for you.
Right. Now you get to 2:17 left to go in the first quarter, and they're going to pitch out right, option to Washington, and there's a flag down, and he's going to be down too after a short gain.
Great job of blocking by number 1, Goodlow. Well, watch him on the outside. Boy, very good job of keeping feet. 28 also doing an outstanding job of blocking. But in that blocking, the referee said there was a little bit of holding going on.
Yeah, and the man that Goodlow was defending was able to break free and eventually make the tackle. And they're going to push that back another 10 yards. So now we're at a 2nd and 15 from the 35. And East Ascension is moving the ball on the ground and a little bit through the air, but they haven't been able to get a lot of points out of it so far. As you see, a good shot of the quarterback done looking at the sidelines.
See, I like this situation to have you 3 receivers over here and only 2 defensive backs.
And a good snap, and it looked like they were setting up the screen, but it's not happening as the linebackers were set up ready for Washington right there, and just not happening. They just spike it to the ground, and it's incomplete.
Well, you got to retreat a little bit better, and then you got to do a little better job on the pass protection before you go out into the screen game as an offensive lineman.
So now it's going to be 3rd and long, and
Dunn doing a good job there, just throwing the ball on the ground at the running back's feet to give you a 2-down situation here.
So 3rd and 15, and now Dunn's throwing downfield looking for Chopin, and that's what you were talking about earlier. It's going to be ruled as a catch and out of bounds at the 30, but that's what you're talking about with McKinley, throwing to that far side of the field. Don't get a lot of yards out of it.
Yeah, and I'm not certain. You look like they had a little corner route behind it.
Yeah. But they're going to say that it was a catch and the ball goes out of bounds after a 5-yard gain. As you see, the McKinley band, they are always entertaining. And it's 4th down.
It's got an empty situation.
And a pass downfield, and he's got Chopin and breaks a tackle, gets down to about the 11. That is a 1st down, so move the chains.
Chopin's supposed to be the guy, and if you look at Chopin's numbers, he had 13 catches for 200 yards, 4 touchdowns, and tonight he's already had 3 or 4 catches and some nice yardage, especially the yardage when you get 1st downs.
And pressure, but quarterback Dunn gets away, and now he's going to break inside, gets about – we'll say about 4 or 5, and it's going to be 2nd down and 10 from inside the 10-yard line, or 2nd down and short from inside.
Well, you have a stunt right there, and East Ascension just doesn't pick it up or can't pick it up because of they have too many people to block. And Dunn does an outstanding job avoiding that situation and picking up some nice yardage.
Yes, he definitely did that. 2nd down and about 4. And they're throwing to the end zone. There's a receiver wide open. Did he stay in bounds? Yes, he did. A touchdown. Jordan Goodlow. That was one that looked like he may not be able to stay in bounds, but he tiptoed and made it. Oh, just barely. He looked like one of the NFL receiver trying to get both feet in bounds. You only need one, but he got both.
You only need one, and nice. He kind of just slipped out of looked like they were all running slants or slant and go or something like this for Goodlow, and it worked out well for the Spartans.
And now it's 13-0, and Kern is coming in to kick the extra point. There's 37 seconds left to go in this 1st quarter. It's up. And good. And so it's 14-0, and we will take a break. You are watching the EATEL Game of the Week.
The athletic training staff of East Ascension High School would like to thank Pico Builder Supply, Donaldsonville Glass and Body, SKR Construction Corporation, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic Foundation, Eustis Mortgage, Ross Downing GMC for their support of the EA Sports Medicine Program.
And so the Spartans score again, and it's 14-0, and we're ready to kick. And said that the kickoffs are being handled by Logan Kern. It actually looks like it's Evan Kern, number 86, and so he will take care of that.
They got a monopoly on that kicking game.
Right. They're going to let him know they're going to call it a touchback. I thought he was in the end zone, so it's a touchback. He's got a good leg. He's a junior. Logan is a senior, but he's getting some experience out here. So it's 1st and 10. So far, nothing doing really on offense for McKinley. Good job by the East Ascension defense.
Maybe after this first play, we can look at the game of the week coming up next week. A little East Ascension and the Santa Maria Gators.
We're keeping our fingers crossed that that's going to happen. But
a little Dutchtown and Catholic High. Yep. Save all the best for last.
That's right. And it's 1st and 10, shotgun, handoff, and that's a loss right there. And so there's 29 seconds left. That might be the last play of the 1st quarter, but while we got some time, why don't we take a look after the replay of the game of the week coming up next week? As you said, scheduled, COVID might have something to say about that. East Ascension versus Sanoma. It would be a shame if that game got canceled. And Dutchtown playing at Catholic High in Baton Rouge. And then in 2 weeks, you're going to have by-district playoff games. Right now, it looks like all 3 teams in the parish are going to qualify for the playoffs if they can.
Well, when you say all 3 teams, and I know EATEL's not on the other side of the river, but you have Ascension Catholic having a great year. They'll definitely be in the playoffs. And Donaldsonville, had a friend of mine telling me that Donaldsonville is totally outstanding.
They put it on
St. James
big time. Scored 50 on them, and nobody did that last year. And we're talking about teams like 5A teams like Destrehan and East St. John. They couldn't do that last year.
So Brian Richardson at Donaldsonville and Benny Saya, longtime Dutchtown coaches at Ascension Catholic. And Ascension Christian's another one. I'm sure they're going to possibly be in the playoffs also. Hopefully, all the Ascension Parish schools get into the playoffs and give it their best.
Yep. Right now, it looks like there's a chance that Dutchtown would host a game in the postseason based on the unofficial rankings. We just came out of a timeout, and on second down again, and run up the middle, and that's going nowhere. They don't have a prayer up there on that line.
See, when you have this inside zone is what I refer to it as. Sometimes, you're reading the end as you see 54 right there.
Right, that's Marcellus Taylor.
Doing an outstanding job. He's not involved in the tackle because he had the quarterback if the quarterback pulled it.
Right.
And you have to have some very good offensive linemen, very good running back, and your quarterback has to make the right decision most of the time, if not all the time. And you're not just going to be able to manhandle East Ascension in the power game consistently. You're going to have your shots, no doubt about that, okay?
And we'll take a short break and come right back. It's 14-0. You are watching the EATEL Game of the Week.
Aaron, reminding you it's time to speed things up with all-fiber internet from EATEL. Your connectivity needs keep expanding, streaming, surfing, and playing games. And EATEL continues to stay ahead of the curve with the fastest speeds. Plus, our Eero whole home Wi-Fi will eliminate dead spots in your home. EATEL takes the hassle out of setting things up so you get our #1 rated reliability from the bedroom to the patio. As always, you will get the personal service you deserve from EATEL. Fast, local, reliable.
We're back and the second quarter underway, but maybe not. There's a flag as quarterback Noah Johnson looked like he was going to work the keeper, but false start, and they're going to be pushed back 5 more yards. They haven't had a first down yet here so far.
Let's look at the results of last week. Really wasn't much to it because of the COVID virus.
So you have Woodlawn and East Ascension was canceled. Dutchtown, they played McKinley last week without most of their offense, but they were still able to win 42-0.
And boy, Catholic went up to Eddie Robinson Stadium. I don't know if you've ever been there or not. Totally outstanding stadium, beautiful place in Grambling, Louisiana. And Catholic High, a heck of a game, gets by Ruston 48-42.
And they've got quite a team up there in Ruston as well. As you saw last year in the postseason, they eliminated Dutchtown and East Ascension. Third down, and there's a sack on the way. They were looking to go deep downfield to the right, but 2 or 3 guys just wrapped them up.
2 guys going deep, and East Ascension had 2 guys with them. Very good job right there.
That's 52 with the sack. We're going to give him credit, Martez Scott. So
it looks like he came free from the outside there.
Mm-hmm. So the right defensive end coming up with the sack, and of course he had a lot of assistance out there, but he got to the guys first. And now East Ascension should get really good field position, and they could be putting themselves in a position where they can jump out.
So Cale must know something. He's already going to McKinley sideline.
High snap and another flag, so they may get 5 more yards. You look at Riante Jones. He's like, yeah, that's them. Maybe a substitution.
Cale may not get a shot at this ball. One of those linemen may get a shot at it.
If you get a high, slow snap like that, that could definitely happen. False start. And so now they're back inside the 5-yard line. So, yeah, he's about a foot away from the back of the end zone. So that's number 17, the punter, Jalen Bowman.
This is what you have with Cale Babin back here. Number 1, you know he's going to catch it. Mm-hmm. And number 2, he can return it.
So they're punting from the 4. And there's a safety. Nobody was looking for the ball. They snapped it. The punter wasn't even paying attention. So he didn't get the ball. It's 16-0. Well, he's going to get a chance here because they're going to have to kick.
I guess I was 0 for 2. But Darnell says, all right, we're going to kick off return. So let's just see. This is what I would tell these guys in this huddle. We should have had that ball about at the 30-yard line if he gets it off. Let's see if we can get past the 50 on this kickoff return here, guys, and get in their territory and set up another score here.
Right. Cale Babin was probably thinking, I might have a shot to get 6 right here if he got his hands on the ball. Now maybe not. You see Goodlow and Washington also back deep, probably expecting him to kick this ball, not punt from the 20. But still waiting for McKinley to take the field.
Well, the opening kickoff was a squib kick for about 25 yards. That's not what you would necessarily want to do right here. As you can see, your front 5
right
move up.
You get some good hang time from a punt here.
Basically moving up 20 yards.
Yep. So I believe both duties are being handled by this guy, Jalen Bowman. He had no idea that the snap had come, though, on that punt. I was completely shocked because he wasn't even looking, and the ball just flew through the end zone. And I didn't know if they blew a whistle or something, but there was definitely some miscommunication right there.
I'm not certain if we're going to punt the ball or kick it off the tee.
Know. They have not got the tee set up.
Yeah.
I don't know if they know. They probably – this is one of the rarest plays in high school football.
Well, look how he's putting that ball on the tee right there, Jeff. That's an indicator right now.
Yeah, they're going to squib it. They're going to squib it right.
Now that 25-second clock starts.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want, as a frontline guy, you don't want this ball hitting you on a line drive.
Oh, then that's what you don't want to do right there. Somebody got greedy and looked like he had visions of the end zone in his head, tried to grab it, didn't see who it was. Let's look at that no, we can't quite pick it up. But one of the upbacks, I think he thought he was just going to pick it up and scoop and score. And that's what happened.
I think the mistake was one of the 5 front guys chased the ball backwards instead of just blocking people and letting that second line of return people just get the recover the kick. And the ball would have been about on the 40-yard line.
Yep.
So basically you have in this situation, it's about where McKinley would have been if they got a first down on their last possession.
So that's a good learning experience for East Ascension, considering you don't see that play very often, so maybe now they know what not to do. And on first down, they try to run it up the gut, and that's just not happening. You see Jones right there, 52, Martez Scott taking him down. There's no room up there. As you see the replay.
Well, you got to lead back in there. Got to pull on a trap block, but, right there, Boykins is just beating that pulling guard right there in the backfield and stuffing it up right there. Have no room for a running back inside.
Right, and 10:28 left to go in the second quarter. And this offense, they've only scored 3 touchdowns all season, and they just a struggle so far. Quick pass, and that should have been picked. Brendan Thompson, I think he was kind of just shocked that it was that easy, and sometimes when it's that easy, you just –
well, the ball rolls back to start with, or it's a low snap. Nice little rush right there.
They were trying to get it to Royce Handy, number 8, but closest man was Thompson. He's a freshman wide receiver defensive back, and he had a chance at getting an easy pick right there, and sometimes those are the hardest ones to get. Hit him in a bad spot, right in the hands. 3rd and 10.
Might have been looking where he was going or wanted to go before he got that ball in his hands.
Yep. And a whistle. And we got a timeout that's going to be called by McKinley. And so we'll stay here and we'll take a look at the District 5A games that are taking place this week. A lot of cancellations, as you know.
And we kind of went over that a little bit earlier with Santa Ma at Dutchtown canceled. So Dutchtown picked up Ellender out of Homa.
Yeah, and that's where we're going to be tomorrow night.
There you go. And then McKinley at East Ascension. Here we go on a Thursday night, all because of the shortage of officials. And then Catholic at Woodlawn canceled. So Catholic is playing at Memorial Stadium Saturday night at 7:30 against Acadiana, number 1 team in the state. 2 very good teams right there. Great game to watch. And as you see, the Ellender at Dutchtown game also. So,
right, it's been a good season for Dutchtown so far. The only loss so far this season going to Woodlawn at the last moments, and they need a win or two. They have a chance to possibly host a playoff game in 2 weeks. It's 3rd down and 10. And it's a fake and a rollout, and it's deflected and incomplete. And good pressure right up the middle by number 42. That's Jarrell Boykins.
Boykins came off of his defensive end spot, defensive tackle, whatever you want to call it. And he was right there. Quarterback did not have a prayer.
And this is kind of what you have heard about this McKinley team. And when you look at their record, which we'll look at later on here tonight, but they just can't score very often. And they have a new quarterback, this Johnson guy. Just he's a senior, but he hasn't been traditionally the quarterback, and you can kind of see he's still getting beat up out there. And out of punt, nearly blocked. There was pressure by number 52. That was Martez Scott. And it's a decent punt, though. They're going to get the ball about the 42-yard line after a 29-yard punt. So there's 9:53 left to go in this first half at 16-0 East Ascension. So 1st and 10. East Ascension has scored on their last 2 drives. You had a pass to Goodlow on their last drive, and then a run up the middle by Samuel on the drive before that, and then you have the safety that makes it 16-0.
After this play, we'll check out the Louisiana High School Sports Writers Top 10.
And look at this, just carrying guys downfield. Walter Samuel is having a heck of a game. Can't get him down.
Just a simple little handoff right there.
Got it by his pants and his jersey, still gets free.
Very good job by Samuel right there. You could see protecting that ball and also picking up 8 yards on the play and basically getting hit in the backfield.
So we'll talk about that top 10 in a moment, but let's pick up the play. And it's going to be a 1st down. So Samuel gets some more yards right up the middle. So another 1st and 10 for East Ascension. As you see the carries up there. You were talking about SWAC, the big games in 5A, and you have Acadiana taking on Catholic. That's number 1 versus number 8, and that was a couple of things you saw right there.
Right. And here it is, Acadiana. But we'll go back to the play, and then we'll come back to that.
So Samuel keeps it, and he's going to get about 5 before he's taken down by Jameer Washington, number 5. And so now we'll look at that some more, and you see Brother Martin, number 2.
Well, Brother Martin having a heck of a year now.
Yeah, they're dominating the Catholic League.
And Acadiana, boy, totally outstanding. And you see the rest of them. Zachary's done for the rest of the regular season, and Bird who beat.
As you see, Kendall Washington about to go downfield, get near the end zone, and score from 44 yards out. And so that makes it 22-0. And now East Ascension easily in control of this game.
You know, I've been waiting for a couple of years to see where Kendall Washington was going to mature into a high school running back, because at the middle school level, he annihilated teams every week.
Yes, he did.
And right here, you know, if he will turn on the burners along with Samuel, they'll have two very good running backs in that backfield.
That running game is going to be their bread and butter. They have been a passing team in recent years, but you go with what you got, and they're a good running team now. The extra point is up and good, so it's 23-0 with 8:11 left to go in the first half, and we'll take a break. You're watching the EATEL Game of the Week.
The athletic training staff of East Ascension High School would like to thank Piku Builder Supply, Donaldsonville Glass and Body, SKR Construction Corporation, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic Foundation, Eustis Mortgage, Ross Downing GMC for their support of the EA Sports Medicine Program.
Back to the game of the week, and East Ascension kicking off for the third time. Last 10 minutes or so of the first half are so far here. Late first quarter, beginning of the second quarter, you've had touchdown, touchdown, safety, touchdown in the last three offensive possessions and one defensive possession for the East Ascension Spartans. And now Kern will kick off. This is Evan Kern. Touchback on the last one. And he's kicking from around midfield. So they do shorten it up this time, and it's going to be taken to about the 17 on the return. And so number 9 with the return, George Martin. You see a nice return right there. Nice camera work at following the kick, and it's 1st and 10. And right now, basically, if you're McKinley, you need some continuity on offense and maybe run a little bit of time off the clock, because the offense is just going nowhere.
And there's not a whole lot you could go to, because what we've seen most of the time is McKinley trying to run the ball
right
tackle to tackle. It's not going to happen. And whether it's going to happen outside remains to be seen, but, you know, it's something that you're going to have to try and maybe try to get that ball down the field a little bit deeper.
And so Johnson, he's gone the distance at quarterback. You see number 24 in the backfield, Chauncey Smith. I believe that's the first time we've seen him in the backfield for the Panthers. And there's a handoff. And again, you've been saying it and you're preaching it, but nobody's listening. They're running it right up between the tackles and getting nothing.
Well, you know, and you have two people pulling right there, and they didn't pick up anybody, so we did get any yardage there.
All right, so they lose a yard on the play back to the 16, and so it is 2nd and 11. They have been able to complete a few passes here and there, but they haven't gotten a lot of yardage out of it. They did look to throw deep one time, but turned into a sack. And there's a handoff, and they cut up the middle, and he's just stood up and knocked down hard. And a short gain on the play, maybe a yard if they're lucky. He probably regrets that call right there. You see number 58 coming in and just laying the wood to him, and that's don't have that number right there. 68, Patrick Stevens with the tackle. So actually no gain.
You could see actually, you know, in your front 7 guys, a number of guys getting some action here in this game.
Well, you said it earlier. The key tonight is to stay healthy, as a deflection on a screen pass incomplete.
Trying to that little down the line screen to the wide receiver. Very good job of knocking that ball down. Let's see if we could pick it up.
Didn't quite catch it right there.
Outside linebacker. Might have been Taylor or Thompson.
And, you were saying, and I was trying to feed you there with that, the whole idea that if you're East Ascension, you want to rotate people, get them in and out, keep your guys healthy because you got a postseason left to play. And
you got the big game at the end of the year. Hopefully that all works out. Now we're in punt situation again. He did the little running to the right punt.
Yeah, the little rugby style, they call it. And it's going to bounce. It's going to take a East Ascension bounce to 35. So that's about a 20-yard punt. Not much there. And East Ascension, let's see if they can score for a fourth consecutive drive. We're about halfway done with this second quarter, 23-0. East Ascension in total command of this game right now. When we get to halftime, we'll take a look at the band and see their performance, and we'll talk about tonight being the shirt off my back night for the senior football players at East Ascension. We'll talk about that a little bit, so stay tuned for that as well. It's 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line, and there's a handoff, and that time not able to get free of the initial contact.
You can see the offensive line. They down here, and I'm not real certain what they're doing. Watch the offensive line. They go straight down the field blocking. But nobody ever blocked big 79.
Yeah, number 79, Demarion Robinson, big defensive lineman, freshman.
He's lining up right over that.
Oh, and there's a loose ball, and it looks like the Spartans have come up with it in a flag. A little extracurricular stuff going on right there. Didn't quite see what was happening.
I think that was Xavier Jupiter.
Yes, he did come up with the ball. There's a little bit looked like little John going back and forth right there.
Well, I just looking at that snap right there, it looks like the quarterback might have just taken his eyes off of it because it looked like it was not a bad snap at all.
Right.
Let's see what the referee says. Got a personal foul against McKinley, personal foul.
Yeah, offsetting. So it's going to be a 9-yard loss, I believe is what it's going to be, and it's going to be 3rd and 20.
Probably a dead ball foul right there, so you take the play.
Right.
Now look at East Ascension. You got doubles stacked up real close. You see this a lot in the NFL.
And they're going to run the end around with Jupiter, and he's got plenty of room, and he is fast. Look at this guy go downfield, and he's inside the 15. Nice run. That guy's got a second gear on him. It's 30 yards on the play.
Jupiter did a great job as far as running. Now, you might think that wasn't a great block, but caused him a little bit of delay, and Jupiter was able to get inside. A lot of times when those wide receivers run these reverses, they want to run as wide as they possibly can because they want to avoid anybody big that could possibly hit them. And Jupiter did an outstanding job of turning inside, well blocked on the outside by the Spartan receivers.
And this time they run up the middle and fake the reverse to Jupiter, and Samuel's going to get close to the 10. He'll get about 4, maybe 5 on first down, good yardage on first down. So let's look at the replay right there. You see they were faking to Jupiter, but they had actually given it to Samuel up the middle. He just gets to about the 10.
Nice hard run. That's something that you've seen from time and time again. Washington's run hard. He's had some success, but Samuel is the guy, and he is time after time after time, gotten a lot of difficult yardage.
Yeah, it's a good thunder and lightning combo. And on second down, Dunn's going to try to keep it, and he's bounces around and maybe gets a yard. It's going to be 3rd and about 5.
I think he was supposed to be going to the right, but looks like maybe they stunted somebody on that side or a hard rush from the outside and not able to get back to the line of scrimmage was done.
So they're going to say a 1-yard loss. It's going to be about 3rd and 6. You see Samuel in the backfield with him. 3 receivers left, 1 right. And looking left all the way. Throws a slant in the middle, and that should have been picked off. Incomplete, just shy of his receiver, Chopin. It's going to be 4th down.
Well, I mean, plenty of time. Offensive line does a good job right here. Just the wrong throw right there.
And so 4th down, and it looks like they're going to bring in Kern, get him some experience there at the field goal kicking. His brother's the holder, Logan and Evan Kern.
Love that situation.
I'm sure they've had plenty of time to.
Kind of like Pyrons last year.
Exactly.
Snapping and punting or kicking extra points.
And the play clock is run out, and they didn't get it off. So this is going to go back 5 yards. Probably won't change anything. That guy had plenty of leg on that. Clock stops at 3:51. So East Ascension, it looks like they're in good shape right now with McKinley, wrong Panthers. With McKinley, I don't know what I'm doing there. Just really not threatening at all on offense. They look like they're in good shape here tonight so far. So it's going to be a 38-yard attempt from the right hash. Or maybe it's going to be a 33-yard. What the heck is going on? Okay, they did. Okay, they got it right now.
The referees aren't ready to go, but the white hat said, "I'm blowing that clock going."
And it's blocked this time. And it is picked up by number 10, Jaquel Mack. It looked like Washington, number 5, with the block. Let's take a look at the replay. And you see number 5 out there, and I believe number 6 as well, Oliver. No, make that number 7, DeMarcus Stevens. So both those guys coming from the edge, and one of them was able to get their hands on it. And so it's going to be 1st and 10 for McKinley. Why don't we take a look at the season schedule for East Ascension while we have a chance? They're 2-3 on the season. They won 2 in a row to start out the year. A really hard overtime win against Warren Easton. But then they lost the homecoming game with St. Charles Catholic, a heartbreaker. Then they lost to Catholic, and that was that long night with the thunder and lightning delays. And then you had the game at Bird.
St. Charles has had a couple of losses. I think they lost to De La Salle. They lost to Newman.
And those are good teams as well.
Yeah, and one of them's not in their district. One of them is in their district. I think St. Charles held their own defensively. Offensively,
right.
It was just like it was at East Ascension. Just not a lot of offense on either side of the ball. And, they lost to Catholic 35-0. Then, you see the canceled games. And, the Bird game started off like 20-0. And then, East Ascension came roaring back. They kind of made some changes offensively. And, was in it all the way to the end. So that was an improvement on, you get that game with a couple of days of practice. So that's what the football season's all about right now. Somebody calls you on Wednesday, and we can't play because of the virus. And it's not hard finding somebody to play. It's whether they're going to play, because sometimes you got to make that trip.
Right. And there was a penalty called against McKinley during that entire break. And so now the ball is pushed back to about the 10-yard line. And so it's 1st and 10 from the 10. And the quarterback's going to roll out to his right and nearly picked off by Riante Jones. And I wanted to mention one thing, Swack, while we had a chance.
Watch Riante right here dropping this little hook zone right here.
Yeah.
Not running up to get to the quarterback. Staying in pass defense, being very disciplined right there. Outstanding job by him.
Well, and I wanted to bring up one thing you were talking about. It's hard to find an opponent, but it's just about going up there and traveling. And the thing about Coach Lee, I talked to him last year when they scheduled Houghton, and I asked him, why are you scheduling Houghton? And he said, because we're going to have to take a road trip at some point in the playoffs. So that it gives us a road trip under our belt, so we get used to it and we're ready for it when it happens. And so I'm sure he did not mind having to go up the Bird, because I got on his road trip that he's always looking for. So that's something that he doesn't mind doing. I know that for a fact. We are in a break right now as a timeout's been called.
I want to just go over a few things. We've seen a better passing attack out of East Ascension. Chopin's been the one. He came into this game with 13 catches and about 200 yards and 4 touchdowns, and that has improved drastically. I've heard all along, like, he is the guy we want to go to. He's our man. And so, that's a good sign right there. Jaquel Max, another one with 10 catches, 131 yards, and 1 touchdown. He's a very valuable receiver for him. And then Jupiter, you just saw what he's capable of doing, especially with his speed. He has 6 catches, 120 yards also this year. You 2 running backs. And let me just talk about Gordon Goodlow. He has 6 catches for 45 yards and then 5 rushes for 35 yards. And then your 2 runners are Samuel with about 300 yards and Washington with about 50 yards.
And you're talking about Goodlow. He has the touchdown reception on the night, so that's his first one of the year. Now you have the split backfield, and it looks like now you have Richard Oliver in at quarterback, but we got another whistle. This game has just slowed to a crawl with all the whistles and timeouts and everything. This last couple of minutes seems like it's lasted about 20 minutes so far. Good thing we have a good production team with Lyle Boudreaux and everybody else, and giving us a lot of filler here to talk about here tonight, because we definitely need it on an evening like this so far.
I think we're going to run out of things, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to talk about Lyle.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm sure he's not listening tonight, right?
Oh, he's listening.
Oh, yeah. So here we go. Now Oliver is in at quarterback. He's the guy we expected to see at quarterback.
Well, he's the guy that we saw last year.
And the handoff, trying to go right. And they're trying to avoid the middle, but Riante Jones ain't going to let that happen. And that's number 24, Chauncey Smith on the carry. Not much happening.
I'm not sure if this is a formula or not. Don't run up the middle and don't run to Riante Jones' side.
Riante is just all over the field. And,
he was that way as a sophomore, and this year he's gained. He's almost close to where he's putting his hand in the dirt, being one of those defensive linemen there at about 270 pounds.
And he looks funny wearing that number 5. And Coach Lee had said that one time when we were doing the game, because he doesn't look right wearing a single digit anymore. And so it's easy to find him on the field as another incomplete pass.
And that was a little RPO right there. You could just watch Washington on the replay. He's looking straight at the linebackers. And if they take a step forward, he's going to try to hit that slant, which was incomplete.
So now 4th down. Last time the punter, Bowman, was in his own end zone, he was just standing there and watched the ball go past him through the end zone.
So I would wonder right here if they're going to do this little run to the sideline rugby kick.
Yeah.
Let's rush, and you can see the motion guy for an extra blocker. Let's rush to their right side right here, and maybe they did that.
That looked like it hit somebody, but it must have been a McKinley defender. They're saying it is still going to be East Ascension's ball after a 20-yard punt, ball at the 30. It definitely hit somebody, but I think McKinley knew it was them, but they were trying to fake out the officials. Didn't work. Now you got 2:40 left to go. East Ascension's got a great opportunity to score one more time.
Well, do we have a new running back in there?
Did they touch it? They did. Yes, okay, no, they did. Okay, there's a new running back in the game. I got confused there for a second. And you have the encroachment.
Now that's Washington.
Yeah, that is Kendall Washington.
And Jupiter out here. Max also your widest receiver.
So it's going to be 1st and 5 after the offsides penalty.
Let's see if we can control this line of scrimmage and get a few runs in there. You got a few timeouts left.
And a quick pass is going to be complete to Goodlow. He's got room to run.
Nice block on the outside.
Nice job, and gets to about the 15. That's another first down.
And, nice little run by Goodlow. Maybe you want to go outside and, and maybe get out of bounds. I see what he's trying to do right here. Get a few more yards.
They do have enough time to take care of the clock with 2 timeouts left to go, with 2:08 left to go here in the first half.
You have the 2 receivers on both sides.
So now another 1st and 10. And there's a handoff up the middle, and that is Washington. He gets about 4 or 5, close to the 10.
Got a little delay, kind of like a draw or a little counter right here. Let's see if somebody pulls. There's your guard tackle pulling. Tackle just did not pick up anybody. You got to find somebody to pick up. Usually you're responsible for one of those linebackers.
2nd and 6. Washington stays, but they're going to throw a little fade to the end zone, and it's up for grabs and caught for the touchdown. Deflection should have been intercepted. Jaquel Mack comes up with the rebound and gets the 6 points.
Well, the one thing that doesn't change for East Ascension, on the outside, on the inside they got size, and on the outside they have athletes. And you just got to find a way to get them the ball right there. And Mack did a great job right there on the deflection, keeping his eye on the ball and picking it up for the touchdown.
And definitely caught a break there, because that could have been a pick right there. Should have been a pick, and it turns into a touchdown. And the extra point coming. It's going to be up and good. And it's 30-0 with 1:25 left to go in the first half. We'll take a break. You're watching the EATEL Game of the Week.
Aaron, reminding you it's time to speed things up with all-fiber internet from EATEL. Your connectivity needs keep expanding, streaming, surfing, and playing games. And EATEL continues to stay ahead of the curve with the fastest speeds. Plus, our eero whole home Wi-Fi will eliminate dead spots in your home. EATEL takes the hassle out of setting things up, so you get our #1 rated reliability from the bedroom to the patio. As always, you will get the personal service you deserve from EATEL. Fast, local, reliable.
30-0 is the score approaching halftime. East Ascension 2-3 on the season, trying to get to 3-3. They're definitely on their way, as McKinley just can't do anything on offense. And when that happens, you see what happens. And now we have a penalty. And so East Ascension is going to be punting. There's been a lot of dead ball fouls, a lot of flags on punts and kicks. And now they're kicking from the 10. Okay. So now we'll see what kind of leg he's got. Evan Kern. I have no idea what was going on there.
Well, it had to be something that was going on that extra point.
They would have called 2 personal fouls for that to go back to the 10. There's been a little bit of jawing back and forth. Now they're going to move it to the 13.
I saw Coach Lee talking with some kids down there on the sidelines, and not real certain what the deal is, but I know he's not real happy right now because, things like this are important. When you get in the playoffs, you can't afford anything like this against a nice kickoff. Very good job.
And they got to pick it up. They do. And they're going to get the ball in. They don't quite make it to the 40.
I'm going to say this, Jeff. Outstanding job by the kickoff team right there. First of all, what's that, Kern?
Yes.
Which Kern did we have?
That was Evan.
Evan, nice kickoff right there. And I'm just watching because a lot of times a guy loaf on the kickoff if he's a little bit tired. Maybe they have younger guys in there. or some guys that aren't playing a whole lot. But that was a dead sprint down the field. The ball was touched at the 35, and they ended up getting the ball at the 38 right here.
So 1st and 10 from the 38. So not as good field position as you might have expected considering the circumstances, as Swack explained.
And you're going to get the White Hat doing an outstanding job right here. All right, everybody comes in here, guys, and let me just tell you, we have some rules to follow here.
I tell you
and
what.
if you don't follow the rules, you won't be participating anymore.
And Darnell Lee ain't gonna settle for that either. When they get in at halftime, I would be afraid to go in there and listen to him. He's gonna lay down the law with those guys at halftime.
Yeah, and every coach is like that. Nobody wants to see their team get 15-yard penalties, and so that, hopefully, and the referee's doing an outstanding job right there, calling them in and hopefully shutting this thing down.
Yeah, and the ball's on the ground, and we might have another touchdown right here. Oh my goodness! Number 54, Marcellus Taylor. This goes from bad to worse.
Totally outstanding job by Taylor, because most kids would just fall on that thing. Somewhere along the line, he's been taught that by one of his coaches right here, and really doing a good job of picking that up from the dead sprint. And it's a shame he's not a running back where you can put him in there and let him score now.
Yeah. And, you're talking about, like, the chippiness and all that and the rules. McKinley at this point, they're 0-6. They got to be just tired right now. I mean, they go through this every week. It's the same thing. They're still struggling. They can't get a rhythm.
But we did this last year, Jeff.
Yeah.
They show up every week.
Exactly.
And I give Coach Oliver and his kids and all their players credit. They show up every week.
Right. It doesn't seem like they ever get a COVID break like all the schools in Ascension do. Seems like everybody's at full throttle whenever they wind up playing them. And on 1st down, handoff. No, not enough. Number 6 on the carry. That's Devion Johnson. So you see the handoff up the middle. Good job there. And they're not just going to give up and let them walk into the end zone. So that's good coaching right there. They're not going to make their kids quit. They're going to fight out there and make them fight for the 6 points as we're inside of 40 seconds.
I like this. Johnson, a senior running back, getting him in the game. Let him get a little action. Hopefully maybe he could score.
The high snap, though, on 2nd down, and it's going to be a loss. And they're not going to call a timeout, it looks like. They're going to let it go down, and they have 2 chances at it.
The Spartan fans want blood here. Stop the clock and score as many points as you can.
Pitch to Johnson, and he's close. He's short, though, with 2 seconds, 1 second, no time. And this game, and so you might think, well, this game, why isn't he more aggressive right here? Well, it's look at the score. It's 30-0.
It's a class act, Coach. It's a class act is what it is.
Yeah, it's 30-0. He doesn't need to run up the score right there.
Exactly. And basically, guys, I'm going to just tell you, we were on a 2-yard line. You can't score from there. We need to get back in the end zone. Give them credit. They McKinley came to play, and they're going to play hard every down.
And so we're at halftime, and it's 30-0. The East Ascension Band will be performing at halftime, and we'll talk about some other things. And so we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. You're watching the EATEL Game of the Week.
It's game day. A day that should be spent in the living room, not the kitchen. So next game, you just worry about the score, because we've got the food covered. With hand-battered, cooked-to-order, always fresh, never-ever frozen chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, crispy crinkle-cut fries, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Piku Builder Supply, your one-stop lumberyard, provides an extensive selection of quality building supplies for your new construction and remodeling. We offer computer-aided estimating of your building and remodeling plans, as well as blueprint copies. From humble beginnings to becoming the industry leader in Gonzales and beyond, Piku proudly supports our local community. because we believe in giving back to those who have had a hand in our success. Let the experts at Piku Builder Supply help you with your new project today.
The Title Law Firm has been fighting for our clients to get their best recovery for over 20 years. And now that tradition will continue to the next generation.
Hi, I'm Rick Tata, the newest member of the Title Law Firm.
We understand that it can be frustrating dealing with your claim.
So we're here to help you get what you deserve. If you're seriously injured in an accident, call the Title Law Firm today.
We're not just a face on an ad.
Call 756-0007 when you're injured. You gotta call Tata.
You care about your car. So do we. Donaldsonville Glass and Body has been around for over 40 years, providing unparalleled collision repairs and customer service, especially when you and your car are having the worst day ever. When you demand exceptional workmanship, call Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Free pickup for your collision repairs and get it back as good as new. It's your choice, so why not choose the best? Donaldsonville Glass and Body.
As we transition here, remember to visit the Pride of EA Band Booster organization in the concession stand for your halftime and game time treats and snacks. And now we feature the color guard, the Bruno Mars Hit Treasure. out to all of our seniors performing tonight as they perform their last regular season home game. And please join us November 21st right here at the stadium, 6 p.m. for the band's final exhibition performance of the year.
It's game day. A day that should be spent in the living room, not the kitchen. So next game, you just worry about the score, because we've got the food covered. With hand-battered, cooked-to-order, always fresh, never ever frozen chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, crispy crinkle-cut fries, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Pico Builder Supply, your one-stop lumberyard, provides an extensive selection of quality building supplies for your new construction and remodeling. We offer computer-aided estimating of your building and remodeling plans, as well as blueprint copies. From humble beginnings to becoming the industry leader in Gonzales and beyond, Pico proudly supports our local community because we believe in giving back to those who have had a hand in our success. Let the experts at Pico Builder Supply help you with your new project today.
The Tata Law Firm has been fighting for our clients to get their best recovery for over 20 years. And now that tradition will continue to the next generation.
Hi, I'm Rick Tata, the newest member of the Tata Law Firm.
We understand that it can be frustrating dealing with your claim.
So we're here to help you get what you deserve. If you're seriously injured in an accident, call the Tata Law Firm today.
We're not just a face on an ad.
Call 756-0007 when you're injured. You gotta call Tata.
You care about your car. So do we. Donaldsonville Glass and Body has been around for over 40 years, providing unparalleled collision repairs and customer service, especially when you and your car are having the worst day ever. When you demand exceptional workmanship, call Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Free pickup for your collision repairs and get it back as good as new. It's your choice, so why not choose the best? Donaldsonville Glass and Body.
Dr. Brian Hollis is Ascension Parish's orthodontist. Dr. Hollis has an excellent reputation for bringing state-of-the-art technology and the highest standard of patient care to Ascension. He attended LSU Dental School, and he completed a residency to become a board-certified specialist in orthodontics. An avid supporter in our community, Dr. Hollis is married to Celeste Pyron Hollis, and they have 4 children. Dr. Hollis, Ascension Parish's orthodontist. Grow up smiling with Hollis Orthodontics.
You've waited all year, and now November is here. Ross Downing Buick GMC Hammond and Ross Downing Buick GMC of Gonzales. Save $10,000 on new 2021 Sierra or 2020 Envision, $12,000 off at Ross Downing Buick GMC Hammond and Ross Downing Buick GMC of Gonzales. New 2021 Sierra, $10,000 off. 2020 Envision, $12,000 off. RossDowningHammond.com. RossDowningGonzales.com.
Hi, we are live with the PPTV network, where one of the top athletes is about to make his important decision. We know his character, and nothing will hold him back.
I'm glad to have my family and friends here for this choice. It's more than my career. It will affect the rest of my life. I choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
The decision is in. Why choose Peak?
Their reputation and their record of success is unmatched.
When it matters most, another patient chooses Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
We're back at EATEL Game of the Week halftime. Here we have McKinley 0 and hometown East Ascension Spartans 30. The East Ascension has gone up and down the field. They've looked decent on offense. I know Coach Lee has had a concern with that. Defensively, I don't even know if Jeff, if McKinley's gotten a first down other than maybe by a penalty.
No, I haven't counted any. They're barely getting positive yardage.
You see the McKinley team right there. You know, the one thing that I remember us talking about this last year, we did, I think, a couple of McKinley games. They come and they show up and they play hard every week. And give that to Coach Oliver. There's his son standing there right next to him, Richard Oliver Jr. So it's been a tough season for him, only scoring a few times and, giving up a ton of points, throughout the year. McKinley has been in and out of our district a number of times over the years. But this is a stat that Lyle came up with that I thought was pretty impressive, that this is the 36th time that East Ascension and McKinley have met. And the first time they've ever met on a Thursday night. And give you just a second to think about, what do you think East Ascension's record is against McKinley? 32-3. They've won 9 straight over the Panthers, and the 32 wins. And there's a number of teams that you've played, with Santa Maria year in and year out, and Catholic, Broadmoor. Some of these teams, that you've played over and over and over, but they have 32 wins against McKinley. Is the most wins in school history. Tonight, something happened before the game. Shirt off my back, and I'm sure most of our fans know exactly what that is. But this is done by all of the high schools, almost all of your sports teams. And basically, it's a kid on the team that's a senior is selecting a teacher that has influenced them in a positive way. And in a lot of times, it is a complete shock to the teacher when a kid comes up to you and says, I want to give you a shirt on my back. And the teacher says, I taught you when you were a freshman. Yeah, well, that's what you meant to me right there. And we're going to go through a couple of these. Jordan Goodlow, number 1. Alexa Jarrow. Cale Babin had Shanna Savoy. Devon Johnson had Rennie Diaz. Justin Walker had Lauren Bro. Neville Chopin had, who's this? Darnell Lee.
I don't know. I don't know why you pick him.
Coach, I'm picking you.
I'm sure he had.
Throw me the ball. Throw me the ball. How about Jace Riley, Elizabeth McMurray? Kendra Johnson, Allison Brignac, assistant principal. Shad Barnes, Demetrius Boone. Ashton Levi, Felicia Levi. Jarrell Boykins, good job, Jarrell. Tracy Swacker. Tracy's ahead of me. She's got about 4 of these shirt off my back things, and I have 0. Blake Thompson, Amber Laverne, Britton Ragusa, Bruno Van Moore. 16 years at EA, a French 1 and 2 teacher. That's impressive.
Yep.
Kylan Mingo, Javen Johnson, assistant football coach, and you would think there would be more coaches, but kids are pretty serious about this, and they search throughout the school a teacher that had a big effect on them. Here's Martez Scott had Robbie Martin, assistant football coach, Marcella Taylor, Angela Stanga. I coached Angela at Santa Ma, and now she's 16 years as an Algebra 3 teacher at East Ascension. Marcus Banks, number 55. Let me see, Paola DeLuna. Spanish 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good job, Marcus. Darrell Jefferson, Jamie Andrews, been here 27 years as a history teacher at East Ascension. Leighton LeBlanc, Kim Usey, another assistant principal. Patrick Stevenson, 68. Katie Devona. Desmond Schuster. Courtney Johnson, track coach. Cannon Quinn, Michael Murphy, track coach. Gavin Sonyet. I love this one now, Gavin. Good choice here. Colin Ford, your calculus teacher. DeMarcus Esther, Bridget Sands, sorry, English teacher. Joshua Byron, Katie Menard, another English teacher. And kicker, number 85, Logan Kern, Dawn Johnson, another math teacher. And Ashton Milton, number 99, Teresa Ozan, geography teacher. So these kids, as you can see, we have a variety from foreign language to the other foreign language of English. And
calculus.
Calculus. It is impressive. It's just not a senior teacher. A lot of times this is somebody that meant something to them along their ways their 4 years. And here we start our second half.
And I'm going to add something after the kickoff, my little story about the shirt off my back stuff in a moment. But we got to take the kickoff here at the 5-yard line. And so
nice kickoff to start with.
They're going to get the ball at about the 20. And you were saying sometimes it's a freshman teacher and they're surprised as you watch the replay here. Some of you may know I teach at Dutchtown. And I got a shirt off my back this year from a kid, John Erlinson, who plays on the football team. And I have a kid that I taught a couple of times who's on the offensive line, and I have a good relationship with him. And I found out I got a shirt off my back, and I said, "You picked me, right?" And he said, "No, this guy came and picked you like right away, and you can only pick one. Only a teacher can get one." And I said, "Well, who the heck is it?" And it turned out to be John. I taught him as a freshman, and I thought that he was like the last person I would have ever expected.
It's amazing. You never know what you did to him for those 45 minutes or an hour and a half, whatever block you're on.
Right. And on first down, this is nothing. This is a 5-yard loss. As a running back, Noah Johnson there.
I need to make a correction. I said they're not getting any yardage in the middle. Maybe go outside, and it's pretty obvious that's not going to happen outside. I just love this EA defense. Nothing spectacular about it, as far as a lot of movement. Basically, they line up, and those three big bodies right there, their bodies almost meet up at the football, and then you're matched up by 4 outstanding linebackers, and of course the secondary. They haven't had to make any tackles tonight.
So now it's 2nd down and 15. And the shotgun. And Oliver at quarterback, throwing deep. And it is incomplete. Good coverage.
Boy, what an outstanding job.
That's a Brennan Thompson.
And watch at the last second. I believe I got this, where he sticks that hand right in there at the last second and knocks it away. Very good job there, Thompson.
They were trying to get it to Royce Handy, and he's injured. He's down around midfield. And so there's going to be a little injury timeout right here, and so we'll take a break. You're watching the EATEL Game of the Week.
Hi, Aaron, reminding you it's time to speed things up with all-fiber internet from EATEL. Your connectivity needs keep expanding, streaming, surfing, and playing games. And EATEL continues to stay ahead of the curve with the fastest speeds. Plus, our eero whole home Wi-Fi will eliminate dead spots in your home. EATEL takes the hassle out of setting things up so you get our #1 rated reliability from the bedroom to the patio. As always, you will get the personal service you deserve from EATEL. Fast, local, reliable.
And we're back. And still an injury timeout right now as Royce Handy is still being taken care of. He's starting to get up, so we'll keep it right here. And Swack, you're talking about how you can't run inside, you can't run outside. EA's doing nothing special. And you pointed it out at the beginning when teams going through their warm-ups and everything. When you pointed down to the corner of the end zone, you said, "Look over there, Jeff." That's their linemen. That's all of their interior linemen right there. And there were literally 8 guys.
It basically looked like, in the NFL you have 7 or 8 guys that they dress out every Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot different college and in general high school. I was offensive line coach at Santa Monica High School. We'd have 20 to 25 offensive linemen. Not all of them Friday night players, some of them JV players. But I saw right then, they threw a vertical route. I think the first time they've thrown vertical tonight, and I think that was Johnson on the play.
Yes.
And he started backpedaling a little bit, and then he says, I'm in trouble right here. I better turn around and do some running. And he really did a good job recovering, throwing a pretty good pass right there, just a little bit short, able to knock it away last second play.
They were trying to go deep one time in the second quarter, but a sack stopped that from happening. So that was the first one they were able to actually attempt. 3rd and 15. Oliver's going to roll out, and he's going to throw a little short pass, and it's caught for a short gain before Riante takes him down. 4th down and long, and Riante, for a big guy, he's everywhere on the field.
Boy.
Stop was made by Riante Jones, picks up about 4.
Big 52 just took a wrong angle right there, Martez Scott. Basically could have had him in the backfield. This was just a naked bootleg right there where you have no lineman pulling. And, the ideal thing if you have a little time is you usually have 2 or 3 levels of receivers. And right there he had no choice but to throw it to that flat receiver really quick.
So 4th down and a quick kick. Looked like he was going to keep it for a second. And it heads to the McKinley sideline. We'll have to see where the officials are going to mark it as he's walking upfield and still going. They're looking at about the 44-yard line. So decent punt, but East Ascension's going to have the ball. Actually, they're going to make it to 42.5 with 9:24 left to go in the third quarter. And you see the running clock right now.
And usually that's an official move, speaking with the coaches and everything else.
And on 1st down, complete to Jupiter. And he breaks free. And he's got great speed, and he gets inside the 20. They're back in the red zone on 1st down.
I'm going to just tell you, Jupiter is a guy that you can have a lot of throws to in this situation. And, I mean, look what he just did right there. And now you got to give the other receivers credit. Excellent job of blocking. Nice little throw out there. But, this is something, and when we looked at the stats for Jupiter, I think he had only 6 catches on the year, and he's made 2 big plays for the Spartan offense tonight.
Right. Dunn was originally a receiver, and he played receiver when Wheat was at quarterback, so he's kind of new to that in the starting rotation. And on 1st down, here's another run by Cale Babin, and he is in. That's actually Babin's first run of the night. That's a touchdown.
And this is the difference right here. Watch how quick Cale is with a nice little move right there. And it's, you could call it speed if you want to. I call it quickness when you're running 15 to 20 yards. And from point A to point B, he was very quick right there and able to get into that end zone. Now, look at Cale coming over there. You defensive backs, it's been kind of boring for me tonight, but got a little excitement there on offense.
Yeah, he deserves to celebrate. That was a nice run. It's a 17-yard run. Extra point from Kern. And it's 37-0, and we'll take a break. You're watching the EATEL Game of the Week.
The athletic training staff of East Ascension High School would like to thank Piku Builder Supply, Donaldsonville Glass and Body, SKR Construction Corporation, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic Foundation, Eustis Mortgage, Ross Downing GMC for their support of the EA Sports Medicine Program.
37-0, and as you can see, the running clock is even continuing during our commercial breaks. So this may be a very quick second half, and the kickoff coming from Kern. Going to be taking it about the 2. Jogs. Now he's going to take it upfield. I don't know what he was thinking there. He's looking for a hole, and it never happened. It got to about the 20.
When you're jogging like that, you're hoping.
Yeah.
And that hope did not come through because this is, not a lot's ever said of this, but I love to watch the run-up of the kickoff team and to see who's going to be right at that line when the kicker gets there to kick it and just how they run. And, if you're a guy that hustles a lot, you'll get past the blockers and you're able to get in on the plays and most of those guys on there are defensive guys, linebackers, defensive backs, and they're used to tackling people and making plays.
Interesting here, you're about halfway through the third quarter as the running clock is just going to keep going. You got Siriante Jones in there. You see Cale Babin. They can't be staying on this field much longer. This is probably going to be their last series of the night, I would think. On first down, there's a little awkward handoff, and that's going nowhere. Can't run up the middle. You've already made that point, Swack.
Well, I'm going to just tell you, I'm not real certain how Darnell, he's been in these situations before as a coach. I like it to where you don't make massive substitutions. You have some guys coming off right now.
Right, you see that was Cale Babin and Riante. Those are two guys I said were still on the field. They're off. I bet you they're going to be done. And Cale Babin's a senior. This is his last night at home. You don't want to cut his night short if you don't have to. But, now it gets to a situation. He gets hurt and he doesn't play against Santa Maria in the playoffs. That's going to kill you. Second down and a pitch. And this is a big hole. And the first down of the night for McKinley.
Jameer Washington off the left side.
Big run for Jameer Washington.
Justin Walker on the tackle. And might have been a touchdown-saving tackle right there by Walker.
Yes, that came out. And the moment they bring Riante out the game and Cale, and that's actually the spots where they usually play on the field, and they get big yardage.
And that right there just tells me, McKinley has every reason to possibly have quit anytime during this game, but they haven't done it.
Yes.
Kudos to them.
Absolutely. 1st and 10. Now we see the I formation, and that was not pretty. They must not run much from the I formation.
You're not in the I, and it looks like you're going to run an ISO to the right, but the running back needs to be over about one hole to the right.
So they're going to say no gain on the play, and this clock's just flying now. 3:40 left to go in the third quarter. And I was told in the past from another coach who had played them earlier in the season that about halfway through the season they played their first 2 or 3 games and didn't do much, and they changed their entire offensive system, going, I believe, from a wing to a spread, or I forget what it was, but they're just kind of trying to get some kind of rhythm out here. Second down, handoff for about a yard, stopped by 25. Joshua Burfitt, sophomore linebacker.
Sophomore, and knowing that your sophomores, good job of filling in the hole by that linebacker. Knowing that the sophomores may or may not be playing many games this year because of the virus situation.
So now it's 3rd down and 8, because JVs and freshman games are being canceled as well. 3rd down and 8. And a pitch to the right, and not much. It's going to be 4th down. So after one nice run, looks like the tackle being made by number 20, Tyvon Turner. So you're going to hear some new names out here, and it looks like they may go for it on 4th down. They're talking about it on the sideline. The clock just keeps on running, though.
Well, I don't know if you could go with no play or play on 2. You might try to get them to jump because you got some new guys in there. Might be a thought.
Yes. It's 4th and 6 right now. They're really not in much of a hurry. I believe a timeout had been called, or they're about to call a timeout, and so there you go. And so why don't we take a look at McKinley's schedule on the season. As you know, they're 0-6, but McKinley on the season, and you talk about those first games, Southern Lab 15-0, and then Estruma and John F. Kennedy. Those games look kind of close, but Estruma and John F. Kennedy really aren't very competitive teams. And then they face the big boys, and you see what happens.
Well,
they did score against
I will say this.
Yes.
not a game's been called here.
Yes, it seems like they always get a team either coming off of COVID or right before they go on COVID. Teams always seem to be healthy whenever they play McKinley. And Woodlawn hasn't played but 3 games, and I bet you they're going to be healthy for that one, though.
Well, I think Woodlawn's going to be like the rest of Sanamaw, and I think Woodlawn might be pretty much like Sanamaw. Sometime this week they're going to become eligible.
Right. Bands are loud, aren't they?
In my headset, they are.
Every time you go to a McKinley game, that's what you have to deal with, though. 4th down, and it's going to be a halfback pass. And there's a receiver downfield in double coverage, incomplete. Actually, triple coverage. And so that didn't stand much of a chance. And
outstanding job by the defensive backs. Watch them right here. They steady going back with the receiver running that vertical route. Excellent job on the coverage there.
And so now East Ascension will get a 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. And so let's see what's happening on offense, what kind of players we're going to see in here. And we see some new names here. See number 17 coming in, a wide receiver, Kane Sanchez. You see Jupiter split ride to the right.
Sanchez coming in at quarterback.
Okay, yes, he is at quarterback, absolutely. So Sanchez is in at quarterback. Oh, and that's a face mask. But I don't think they called it. Yeah, they did.
Line judge
they
got
did.
it.
Okay. And it looked like Devion Johnson was the victim there. So,
Johnson's your senior. You remember, I'm not sure you were with us homecoming night. He was the captain for the coin flip, senior.
Right.
Running back.
And so, yeah, that was, that was blatant. 79 to Marion Robinson, their big offensive and defensive linemen. So now they're inside the 30, and this probably will be the last play of the 3rd quarter.
We look at Sanchez, junior quarterback.
And looks like the option pitch. Going to go to Johnson for a couple. Not much as the clock runs out, and that will end the 3rd quarter. So it's 37-0 as you see the replay, the option pitch, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter. We'll take a break. You are watching the EATEL Game of the Week.
Hi, Aaron, reminding you it's time to speed things up with all-fiber internet from EATEL. Your connectivity needs keep expanding, streaming, surfing, and playing games. And EATEL continues to stay ahead of the curve with the fastest speeds. Plus, our eero whole home Wi-Fi will eliminate dead spots in your home. EATEL takes the hassle out of setting things up so you get our #1 rated reliability from the bedroom to the patio. As always, you will get the personal service you deserve from EATEL. Fast, local, reliable.
37-0, and we are about to begin the 4th quarter. So we see the East Ascension band led by Charles Lee, the band director here at East Ascension High School, and 2nd down and 7 from the 24-yard line. As Swack mentioned, Sanchez is in at quarterback, Devion Johnson at running back, and Johnson's going to get it, and he's going to come close to a 1st down, about a yard short. It's going to be 3rd down and about 1 or 2. And
watch this low sweep. Nice little blocking out there. 17. Let's see. Well, couldn't be 17. That's the quarterback. Maybe it was 13.
Yeah, Jupiter was still in the game earlier. He is out there split out to the right.
Yeah.
And you also see number 14 out there,
14,
Michael Harris.
Michael Harris, nice block on the last play.
So 3rd down and quarterback option keeper. And he breaks the tackle, gets inside the 15. Nice run there by Sanchez, and it's a 1st down.
Sanchez says, Coach, you want me to run the ball? Okay, all right, got you.
And it's good that he's getting some time out here because if Dunn goes down, that's his game. So he needs to get a little bit of experience because you may have to call on him at some point in the postseason. And we're talking about the postseason, and East Ascension's 2-3, and you might say, well, are they going to get to the postseason? They're most definitely going to get to the postseason. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. A high snap, and he's able to get it, and he keeps it. Now he's got room, and he's to the 10, and the ball is fumbled out of bounds. So just a little sloppy play there, but he gets some positive yardage out of it.
That's just been a couple of snaps tonight, and it needs to be down to none. Yeah. Where the quarterback, for whatever reason, either the ball's a little bit hot or a little bit too high or low or whatever off his body. You know, that quarterback, you need to be consistent with that so he doesn't have to concentrate on catching the ball as much as he can on whatever his read is.
2nd and 4, and it's a reverse near a first down, hit hard. That was Calvin Bougier. And
basically just like Jupiter ran just a while ago.
Yes.
Except Jupiter kind of cut up in there and did his thing. Got a holding call.
Yeah, there's a flag right there, so they're going to push it back 10 yards. So talking about the postseason situation, right now, according to a lot of the projections that you're seeing, and, of course, they're all unofficial right now, all 3 teams from Ascension Parish should make the postseason. And you might say, well, they're 2-3, about to be 3-3. I mean, how are you certain that they're going to make the play? There's a lot of teams that are not playing this season and haven't played in a long time.
You have a lot of Lake Charles teams that are playing, like Barb and Sam Houston, they're playing JV football this year. And when I say JV football with seniors, and whoever's left at school.
Yeah.
So you have that situation. I saw where Sam Houston and Barb played volleyball.
Right.
Or maybe it wasn't Barb, but you have a number of schools, Lagrange and that weren't able to recover from. One of them's McNeese, and so and Sulphur's been able to get out. Acadiana, I'm not going to feel sorry for anybody because, the people that really need to be feel sorry for are the people that went through all the misery of those hurricanes. And
exactly.
But Acadiana's, looking for somebody to play all the time.
Right.
And not everybody really wants to say, oh, come on, Acadiana, we'll take you on. But Catholic's done that, and so they'll play this week. So you have a number of schools, around 50, let's say 55 5A schools. Probably about 13, I think it's 13 or 14 are going to be in the select bracket, which means basically your private schools, and it could be a magnet school as long as like McKinley's one of them. As long as 25% of your student body come from outside your attendance zone.
Right.
And so you have Byrd as another one. From Shreveport, I think Scotlandville is another one. So the rest of them are going to be your Catholic League out of New Orleans, and then St. Paul's and Catholic High, in the Division I scheme. So
on the field, it's 3rd down and short, and a completion to the 5 and a touchdown.
Great job out there. I love to give a receiver credit when he blocks, and I think it was number 16.
Yes.
Was it 16 or 14? 14.
So that was Harris, and he got Jupiter free for the touchdown. And so it's going to be 43-0 as the extra point comes. And it finishes the thought about the postseason. Not only are a lot of teams not playing, but then you have that bottom rung of teams that really aren't competitive. Teams that haven't won a game this season. And there's like 6 or 7 5A teams that haven't even won a game this season. So you take that out, you take the Lake Charles teams out, and pretty much if you're competitive, you're going to make the postseason. So East Ascension is going to make the postseason most probably as the extra point goes in, and it is good. And so 7 minutes in running, it's 44-0. We'll take a break, and you're watching the EATEL Game of the Week.
The athletic training staff of East Ascension High School would like to thank Piku Builder Supply, Donaldsonville Glass and Body, SKR Construction Corporation, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic Foundation, Eustis Mortgage, Ross Downing GMC for their support of the EA Sports Medicine Program.
And we're back with 6.5 minutes left. After this kickoff, we'll be inside the 6-minute mark. 44-0.
Jeff, we've done a heck of a job here. Nolan came along. We promoted him to producer, and promoted Andre out there on the box to cameraman.
Right. And we've had some good field camera work here tonight, as you can see. A lot of good close-ups on the replays. So they've been right on top of it, and you know this whole crew has just been coming together, and it's a pleasure to work with everybody. Of course, the guys out here working with you, and then Lyle feeding us all the information. It's just been a good season, even though it hadn't been the greatest season on the field with the COVID winning out all the time. But it's been fun so far.
Yeah. And my main hope is that the football season can finish out with whoever's in the playoffs, and no one has to forfeit.
Right, because as you said already, I believe you talked about it earlier, you can just cancel and postpone a game in the regular season, but you can't push the playoffs back. So if you get COVIDed out, you're done. 1st and 10, and a quick pass downfield, and it's intercepted. And it's going to be returned inside the 15. That's Turner, Tyvon Turner, number 20, 21. Is it? It's 21. Bouvet. Okay, thank you. Chase Bouvet.
And Bouvet looks like he could get a little running back action with that hard running at the end there.
And so,
somebody says, what would you do right here? Make sure you got some second line guys in there and run you some basic offense right there. And I'm not going to say, because as a McKinley coach or an EA coach, I'm not concerned, whether you're scoring a point or whatever, where you throw the ball. That doesn't bother me one bit. All I'm concerned about is my kids reacting, and I think Coach Oliver can't miss a beat on the way his kids have hustled on every play here.
Right, and you have some offsetting personal fouls, and we've seen that tonight. It's been a little bit rough out there at times. There's a new quarterback in the game, number 18. That's Chris Carcese, sophomore quarterback, and he's back there with Jeremiah Jones, number 39. So now you're getting deep into your bench. As by the time this series is done, we'll probably be done for the night. Now tomorrow night we're going to be going to Dutchtown, and that's going to be a good game as well. On first down, met in the backfield, taken down by number 50, Dominique Washington.
Yeah, and see, 50 says, I'm still playing. I got a little cramp in my leg right here.
Yep.
But I'm still playing. Basic dive. Exactly what you need to call right there. Good call by Coach Lee.
So he's down now, and so let's just stay here for a second. We can talk about the game tomorrow night, as we'll all be out as well. That's the nice thing about having a game on Thursday. We can all work together on Friday as well. And that was supposed to be the Santa Maria versus Dutchtown game. Santa Maria can't play with the COVID, and so Dutchtown brought in from Houma, Ellender High School. And Ellender, traditionally, I grew up in Houma, and so I'm familiar with the teams down there. They're not really a football school. They're a basketball school, but they do have a lot of talented players, kind of like McKinley. They got some great players. They just hadn't been able to put it together much on the field.
Well, the big thing is, they're not a 5A school, and, that 4A enrollment is somewhere around 1,100, 1,150, somewhere in there. And when they come in to play Dutchtown has 2,500 kids at their school.
Yeah.
And, their football program is going to be solid, number 1 through number 99. And I would venture to say there are going to be a number of other players with duplicate numbers out there. So,
yeah.
Right here, they're going out on the field. It looked to me like I think it was number 50.
Right. Washington.
The typical signs of having a cramp. He looked like he put a little weight on that, and I think you got trainers at McKinley and also at East Ascension, checking on him out there, as you can see. I'll just plug that right now. As a coach, the one thing you don't want to worry about is injuries to your kids, because if you have some type of injury that needs a certain maintenance or a certain treatment or whatever, Ascension Parish has as good a training staffs at the high schools, the middle schools, and they do a super job of taking care of the kids. And they also work with the physical therapy people in the parish too. So that's you see Coach Darnell Lee walk out there, and Coach Lee just as any coach, you just want to check on the kid, make sure everything's all right. Here we are with less than 3 minutes to go in the game. But that is a purity pleasure that you have at all the high schools in the parish when someone's hurt. Right off the bat, you got a great training staff, and usually there's a doctor on the sideline at all these games. There's somebody from physical therapy there, so outstanding job right there. Parish-wide, and it's all because of the support from the school board. They do an outstanding job with that.
You're right about that. And so now it's going to be second down. I believe it's second down and goal from about the 10. Looks like a quarterback in number 14, Harris.
This may be a quarterback run then.
Or no, that's actually – might be number 9, Jalen Lee. And so there's a fumble, and McKinley will get the ball. And this is the fourth quarterback that we've seen out here, and so it's actually just a fumble on just a handoff, stripped Michael Harris, and
Harris just did not have that ball tucked, and it's just a lot of times, even when you have it tucked, just that magical hit on that tackle hits that ball in the right spot and causes it to become dislodged in a fumble.
Right. And so McKinley will get one last gasp for points with 2 minutes left to go in this game, and probably not going to see the clock stop again unless there is an injury. So we're pretty much going to be done here, I believe, for the night as they work out of the eye again. And Oliver, and there's a whistle. Can't we just get this game over with?
Well, I know on the outside we have Andre and Andy on the camera doing a heck of a job. Jeff, me and you, Lyle makes our job a lot easier with all the information he feeds us, training us up like we're little rookies. Grandson JT spotting people left and right for the elderly announcers that can't see any names and stuff out there. So a lot of people do a lot of things here.
Right.
And Nolan pressing all the right buttons.
That's right. And hopefully we can get this done here with 1 minute left and we can get to the end, because I like Thursday night games, but I got to get up at 5 tomorrow because I got to get ready for school. And so glad to be wrapping up a little bit early here tonight, and as a loss on first down. As let's see who's back there, 94. Kevin Toussaint, sophomore defensive lineman. So he gets his name called. Good for him. But there is a flag. Of course there is a flag. There's 2 flags, matter of fact. By the time they sort this out, the game's going to be over. We're wrapping up. It's 44-0, and it's over. And we're going to be at Dutchtown tomorrow night. Thanks to everybody, man. It's been a great night. It's a good night to be a Spartan fan, I'm sure.
Well, next week, Coach Oliver goes against Woodlawn, and Woodlawn may not be able to play because of the virus. They've been out the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. And that's going to do it. And so that wraps it up for the night. So, Swag, thanks a lot. I'm going to see you tomorrow.
I appreciate the hard work. We'll be seeing you in 24 hours.
You betcha.
Or less.
All right, 44-0 is our final score. And that's going to do it for our broadcast here tonight. Thanks to everybody who helped out and made this a great broadcast tonight. I'm Jeff Porsche. He's Swag. And for everybody else who's been involved, thanks a lot. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. You've been watching the EATEL Game of the Week.